Hey guys, V. Ragone, Max, high performance real estate entrepreneur. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to get into today, is some of that bait and switch. Now, you may not know exactly what bait and switch means, but it's an old retail trick where, you advertise one thing, and then when the customers come in, they say, hey, that's not here, but we can sell you something else. That's the basic definition of bait and switch. Now, in this business, in the guru business, there's some of that bait and switch happening too. And that's what we're going to get into. So, stick with it. If you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I know, I say it all the time. Hey, and by the way, let's leave some comments. So, bait and switch in the guru business. All right. Now, right now, I have no guru business. I just give information. I don't sell anything. Hell, I haven't even asked you for an email address. Nothing. So when I'm telling you this, I'm telling you this without any conflict of interest. So I'm watching this one podcast because, I watch these things too, the videos. And so there's a guy out there really kind of famous. I think he actually was even a baseball player. So I don't know exactly, but nice guy. A lot of his content is really good. But when I'm watching this thing and it was like entitled, something like cash flow doesn't work or something of that nature. And he's talking about real estate because that's where he's made most of his money. He's a big flipper of houses, and he talks about the fact that he got really hurt when they raised the interest rates. He's talking about the fact that, instead of putting 40 in, making 40 out of the deal, he's putting 40 in to close. Now, these are his words, not mine. So he got hurt pretty good there. Now, he's big enough. He absorbed it. He's moved on. All right, so I'm listening to this thing. It's like an hour long almost. It's really, I'm thinking, maybe there's something there. You can always learn from somebody. They either whether younger than you or older than you. There's always information that maybe, you can attain. Well, I'm into this thing for a while, and he's talking, kind of negatively about. It seems like he's talking a bit negatively about, the whole real estate game and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, he's talking about wholesaling. Being that middleman. But then the whole thing goes on about how, in anything you do, it's about getting the leads, getting those contacts in order to be able to, and guess what? He provides a wonderful service to get you leads. Just got to sign up for this shit. And I'm like, I'm 15, 20 minutes into this video and I'm like, man, I just went down the rabbit hole of bullshit, wasting my time on just a big, long commercial. That's all. You got to make sure that when you're listening to somebody like myself, you're listening to a Rod Khleif, you're listening to a Grant Cardone, whoever it is out there that you're listening to, that you're not just listening to a commercial because they have their own agenda. And it's certainly not lining up with yours because you didn't start listening to this video because, you were thinking about needing leads to be a wholesaler. It was entitled something that had to do with cash flow. And that has to do with owning rental properties and operating those rental properties, obviously for a positive cash flow, not a negative cash flow. And then before you know it, you're into this whole diatribe around wholesaling and about getting leads and then them providing those leads to you. And so that you can be, Mr. Success. All right. Now, just a bit disingenuous, right? All right. That's the way I look at it. I was done. Turned it off. Now, I'm sure I'll go back and listen to something else. I mean, again, the guy's trying to make money. I get it. No problem. But let's just be a little bit more, to the point in the beginning of this. Like, hey, man, if you're into wholesaling, you got to listen to this because we created this new lead generation program and it works really great and everybody's making a lot of money. Let me explain it, right? Otherwise, it's the old bait and switch. You bring me in thinking one thing, and then before you know it, you're selling me something else. And now, you got to give grace. I get it. But my time is valuable. Don't screw with my time. That's all I'm saying. And I know your time is valuable. That's why when I start this thing off today, we talked about bait and switch relative to, the guru industry. All right. And so, right off the bat that if it's something you want to listen to, you're into it. You're in it. You're not halfway through it, a third of the way through it, 20 minutes into it, and all of a sudden you're figuring out, well, this is bullshit. He's trying to sell me something. Now, I get it. The whole world is designed around selling you something because you need some stuff, right? Information, technique, all that kind of stuff you need. I get it. But when you're the presenter, when you're the one doing the selling, then make sure that you are sitting there and you're giving the people, right from the beginning, the understanding that you're giving them information relative to a topic that they're interested in and how you can enhance that business. And maybe his lead generation is fantastic. I don't doubt it, but I wasn't there to listen to a commercial. It's not an info commercial. When they have those on TV, they used to do a lot of those. I don't watch much network TV, that kind of stuff, but they used to have the info commercials, right? But you knew it when you clicked on it that it was the info commercial. Even going all the way back to he was kind of like the main guy, Carleton Sheets, when it came to real estate. We're going back to the 80s, my friends. Back in the 80s, a guy by the name of Carleton Sheets. And he'd have this whole program on real estate at 2 a.m. I'd stay up and listen to that because I found it motivational. But at least I knew right from the beginning that he was really just trying to sell me one of his programs, which I had no problem with because I also got certain information, but I knew it going in. So what I'm trying to tell you is when you're listening to somebody, when you turn on something, don't put up with the concept that you're just being sucked into somebody's info commercial. Go get the real information. I mean, you won't see that with somebody like myself or a Rod Khleif. You won't see that with these kinds with people like this. It just doesn't happen. They're too just obvious. They're not gonna bait and switch you. I'm not gonna bait and switch you. In fact, I got nothing to switch you to except for just basic information. And so that's really what I want you to understand. Don't waste your time. Don't get sucked in. Because when you were there listening, thinking about what's he got so negative about cash flow, well, he wasn't talking cash flow. He was talking about selling one of his products. That's what I'm talking about. So listen, get out there, right? Let's make it happen. All right, get the real information from people that you can really understand, that are willing to give you this information and address it in a way in which it also comes with some wisdom. V. Rigoni, Max, high-performance real estate entrepreneur. Let's get out there. Let's make it happen. And what do I always say? Think big, start now, and grow fast. Talk to you soon.